Some of you may remember that video I made following the reveal of Terminator Resistance. I wasn't exactly kind to the game. The developer had previously made shovelware games that were complete crap, and of course they made Rambo the video game. So the publisher, Reef Entertainment, obviously got the rights to Terminator games for cheap from Studio Canal. None of the big publishers cared about acquiring the rights, hence this small publisher being able to afford them. Well, I 100% honestly love this game. I was very wrong, and I'm sorry to the developers. This is probably the best Terminator game yet. Now, I won't spoil anything during the video, so it's 100% spoiler free. So the game is based exclusively around the future from the Terminator and Terminator 2, so all the crap fanfiction movies, they don't count in this game. The game has very light RPG mechanics, and it feels a little like the later Fallout games with the enemy health bars, lockpicking mechanic and quests log, but there's also a strong Telltale Walking Dead vibe, mainly with the character interactions and the general atmosphere. Something I originally saw as a rushed out cash grab is actually a lovingly crafted game by a developer who perhaps didn't quite have the resources that they deserved. Terminator Resistance really captures the feel of the movies. The characters are written well enough, and some of the dialogue's actually really charming. Most of the character interactions usually brought a smile to my face, and while the fanfiction movie Terminator Dark Fate gave us crackhead Sarah Connor and ignored her history of being an interesting character, Terminator Resistance gave us two excellent female characters. There's Commander Baron, a tough-as-nails, cold-hearted resistance leader, and then there's Jennifer, a scavenger who's just trying to do good by her younger brother. Depending on your actions, characters may warm towards you and reveal more of their story. The facial animation is poor, and the voice acting is ropey, but it doesn't overshadow the love that the developer has put into this game. You can feel it from a mile away. The attention to detail is pretty astonishing. And not to mention that the original music is so good. It respects the sounds of the Terminator with the minimalist droning tones and the percussive synths, but there's also very tasteful use of high-gain electric guitar, which gives us a Tommy Tallarico feel, which we haven't really had since RoboCop vs. the Terminator, or the Terminator on Mega CD. The game also has its similarities to Alien Isolation. The Terminators are absent from the starting sections of the game, and just like Alien Isolation, there isn't a big cutscene or some, fanfare to reveal the Terminator. The first encounter with the Terminator is really atmosphere-rich. It has you sneaking through vents, creeping around dark corridors, all while the Terminator patrols and searches for you. It was at this moment I knew the game was doing things right. It had that horror aspect that only the first Terminator movie really had. Now, the game does introduce some new types of Terminators. Some are a little gimmicky, like they have these little robot spiders, but it's easy to overlook and they're not really all that offensive. The reason I mention this is, of course, that watching Terminator Salvation, one of the most embarrassing moments of my life was when you see those stupid, cringy robot motorcycle transformer Terminators. Yeah, there's none of this in this game, so you don't need to really worry about any stupid crap like that. But this game respects the two movies so much. You craft the pipe bombs that Kyle Reese used. You can use the canister bomb that the Resistance fighters used. You do the walk into a Resistance bunker, just like Kyle Reese. They've got the guard dogs at the door. There's a TV being used as a fire, people hunting for rats. There's a lot of attention to detail, and I fell in love with this game for that reason. Of course, the game has its problems. It's obviously a low-budget game, and it suffers in a lot of ways. The worst example being the enemy AI, which is extremely poor. While you're in small indoor areas, the Terminators are very frightening, and they work well. However, when you're outdoors, the Terminators aren't really persistent or don't actually seem to want to even terminate you. They'll kind of shoot at you, but once you break their line of sight, they pretty much give up on you. But hey, it's a mid-tier game, it's not a blockbuster game. Similar to the first Terminator movie, that's where it gets the charm. But Teyon do need another shot at this with a bigger budget. They actually understand what Terminator is about, and I would trust them more than James Cameron or anyone else with the franchise. So if you're a big fan of the two Terminator movies, you really will love this game. If you're only casually interested or don't care about Terminator, then this game really just isn't for you. If I were to score it, I would give it a high 7 out of 10.